Yeah, please go ahead and start.
नहीं अभी नहीं, वो कुछ मेरी अपनी तो आ ही नहीं रही इसमें.
You are on. You are good. Please start.
Okay. I'm Kamlesh Kapur again. Namaste. Today we are going to almost coming to the end of 100 years, almost to 2014. And we are going to see how in all those 100 years, Gandhi and Nehru and Gandhians, जो उनके followers हैं और जो उनके नामसेक हैं, नेमसेक, वो सभी उन्होंने क्या क्या किया. So it is the end of an era in the sense that there was a ray of renaissance. जैसे एक नई ज्योत जगती है, तो उस तरीके से ये लिया गया है. अब तक जो हिंदुओं के साथ हुआ है उसका आई एम स्पीकिंग हिंदी. अच्छा, many people may not understand. Okay, so Gandhi, Nehru, destroyer of the nation. So obsession with minorities to secure his power and dynasty's future. This dynasty's future, people do not understand that this was pre-planned. As far back as 1944, it was decided that Indira Gandhi will be the next prime minister and her dynasty will rule. And that is the reason why there was this drama of changing the name from Khan to Gandhi, and I'm giving my own name, and then justifying. You see, the whole thing was trading lies between Nehru and camouflage the truth. So, you see, in other words, people really did not come to know that it is transfer of power was actually turned out to be transfer of power to Congress with dynasty and Nehru's dynasty as the leader. So Nehru himself was a communist, very strong communist, and in fact enchanted by, I should say, from the age of 27 or so. And then, not 27, about 37. So promotion of Christianity, because he was raised as in England, and he had totally no exposure to Indian culture. He was not rooted in that. He himself admits that I am a Muslim by culture and Christian by education. So now both of these are straitjacket ideology. That means that you are either in it or you are out of it as enemies. So if you are following Christianity and communism, they do not admit religion, dharma, or anything else. And even Christians say that Jesus said that I am a jealous God, which means that I will not admit any other. So Nehru believed in that kind of thing. And so this is just to give the background who the man was actually. And if anybody is thinking that he's Chacha of Hindus or of the nation, that is just a fabrication of our own mind, national psyche. So as soon as he came in power, and Gandhi's death came as a great blessing for him. First of all, Gandhi would have interfered with him, and Nehru's ideas were slightly different. And the second thing is, this gave him an instrument to use against Brahmins and Hindus. Now, one man committed the crime. He happened to be a Brahmin. That does not mean the entire nation of, at that time, it was 90%, 89% Hindus. They are all culprits. So this kind of tag was very convenient for him. So real freedom fighters were sidelined. Even by the 30s, Muslim violence was justified. Some or other, their grievances are justified. Grievances are justified does not mean that they should use violence against Hindus anytime, anywhere, for no reason. So this is, Gandhi did the same thing and Nehru did the same thing. So I bracket them. The duo is a destroyer of the nation. And if Hindus fought against them, they were scolded, they were betrayed, they were maligned. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee was there, Mahavir Tyagi was there, and a whole lot of them. One by one, many were either eliminated or they were given some party jobs, not in the minister. Ambedkar, Patel, Rajendra Prasad. I mean, there is a whole long list of Hindu-minded people who believe that once Pakistan is done for Muslims, we Hindus are free. So that is where the thing went wrong, that Nehru remained alone with his sycophants, bureaucrats, and to rule to left as part of, ladder, that whoever is towing my line, I am the dictator and you are followers. So both leaders ensured that Indian democracy works as a government for the minority, by the minorities, and of the minorities. So the key posts were given where you can play with the minds of the students and distort the channels of communication and educational institutions. That is where the minorities were in charge. Maulana Azad, Rafi Ahmad Kidwai, So these people, madrasa chap people. So now the main points of this talk is that polarization, religious polarization, how the Hindus are weakened. Because the title is they destroyed the nation. They also destroyed Hindu psyche. And at this time, the chokehold on the Hindus is so tight from every single angle. They are being chiseled, or they are being tortured, or they are being slighted and sidelined. No platform, no forum. So I'm talking about before 2014. And so conversions, because Sonia Gandhi herself and Musliman Ahmad Patel, you see, gradually these people became a small little advisory committee of Nehru's dynasty. So, and others who toe the line for their own benefit and power play. So erosion of cultural value and traditions, that started right away. Even the English people did not go to that extent. Communal policies of the government, right away, reservation, which was meant for 10 years, and it only covered two categories: culturally and socially deprived classes and areas. So then they started the demographic engineering, by, I'll give you example a little bit later. Judicial review was considered a tool to erode Hindu culture. Now, this point I'm going to elaborate in detail, because judiciary is tinkering with the common law and Hindu traditions, you see, and there is a reason how convenient it has become for them to bypass or ban Hindu tradition, ban actually. All these topics are interwoven and they create a spiraling chain of action and reaction. For example, if the temple lands are being encroached and the communists are doing it, then the spiraling effect is that somewhere else the Muslims are doing it. And if nothing else, the government itself is taking away the land and making uh, uh, buildings on that, offices on that, or just selling them. So one example is in 2007, in one of the temples, there was a huge temple, a pond. And that pond is now filled. There's a building on that, and the pond has disappeared. So this is what I mean, that judiciary is a co-conspirator. So now, this is another way of choking them, voter registration. In all the Urdu-speaking North, Hindi-speaking North, Muslims who are kind of, in key posts, officers, or at least in the registration, voter registration. So Hindus were always given, this form is wrong, this entry is wrong, make them pay, 10 visits. And finally, the person says that, okay, I'm done with it, I won't vote. So this is voter registration. In Punjab, the Sikhs were in charge and they wanted Hindus on the annals and on the demographic chart as portrayed as minorities. So they had that angle. In Delhi, it was Muslims. And in this way, all the way down from north to south and east to west, this voter registration was there. And even if they did get the voting card, they were not allowed to use. For example, in Bengal, they were threatened and shunted away from the polling booth, or just cowed down. So religion as a criteria for reservation. This came a little later, and there was no reason for it. You see, if they needed protection, then why are they there? They were already given the choice to go back to your own country. So what's the point of a reservation on religious basis? And then the whole purpose is destroyed. It was only deprived social classes, and there were only two: tribes and scheduled castes. Within the Hindu fold, he did not stop here. So he created group identities: Shaivites, Vaishnavites. The tags were there before because India is Dharma is Sampradayak, several panth for the same goal. But creating group identities, Marathas are separate, Gujars are separate, Sikhs are separate, Jains are separate. All of these are now, Parsis are separate, and of course Christians are separate. All of them are minorities. And most of the people living in areas like, which are not considered backward or deprived areas, people living there would show the residence in backward area. And a whole lot of, when we were students, it was going on. A person from Pathankot would say, I belong to Himachal Pradesh, such and such place, and Mandi or Bilaspur. You see, that kind of thing. And that has become more rampant later on. Invasion of the sacred. Now, here, the collision was necessary with the foreigners, BBC and entire American academia. One person would pick up Ganesh, Emory University, and they will focus that it is a symbol of impotence and whole lot of. And Wendy Doniger, she wrote a alternative history of India. Why create alternative? History has to be either real or not, or fiction. So alternative means what? And that is really has a vulgar kind of cover. And she has trained so many PhDs, many of them Hindus, who were part of our activism in the 80s and in the even in the beginning of 90s. We used to have meetings. Once they become full-fledged professors, they became again, like for tenure, they would malign Hindus. So they are themselves, Hindus. And there is one person who was supported by a Hindu-minded leader, and he refused to talk in favor of Hindu Dharma. So this applies to everywhere. You see, this kind of thing, invasion of the sacred. Anybody who feels like it, demolish a wall or damage the gate or go inside and loot the temple property or damage it, vandalize it. So this invasion of the sacred is on physical level, academic level, and the level of propaganda. And Hindus under siege means that they have not realized that they are a target. You see, because each is bothered about his own identity and whether I can be considered minority. They are not bothered that a Hindu a nation or as a total group is losing ground because they are divided in different identities. So, and then this was a simple act, HRNCE. It was a Hindu religious and charitable endowment, which was passed in 1923. A simple act. This had no place in India. And I do not understand that in spite of that all the previous acts were defunct because the British left and they are over. Nehru passed it again. In spite of so much opposition to this, in 1959, he passed it again. But he made a condition that all the government officials who will manage the Hindu religious properties, they would be Hindus. And they would take an oath that I'm a practicing Hindu. Then later on, he made an amendment. He said, no, it doesn't work. It only applies to lower officials. It only applies to lower officials. So what about the higher officials? If they are Christians, obviously they are not in favor of the Hindu benefits or Hindu improvements of the temples. They are anti-Hindus. So why shouldn't they be Hindus? So this is where my personal experience comes, where the security guards are Christians, where the person who is in charge of the, it is called hundi, safe, where all the donations go. Everybody is Christian or Muslim. And obviously the officers were also minority. They don't have to be. So it is a kind of combination of two things going on simultaneously. One is subterfuge by the government of India and the government of the states. And the other is the apathetic attitude of the Hindus, like, giving up. Once you are cornered, your back is against the wall, you just go to your corner and hide yourself. You don't have to come into any controversy. That mindset is still there. So this I explained, qualification for benefits, horizontal and vertical expansion. Vertical is that more down the line jatis, they were given reservation, certain jatis called OBC or like that. And horizontally is expanding benefits to different religions and categories. So committees and commissions, nobody asked for commissions to be there. Muslim never asked that we need this or that, have a commission. The government itself decided. Such a commission was made just like that, because the government thought that minorities are disadvantaged, like that. And Mandal Commission. I mean, it was such a nightmarish atmosphere, and most of the people, even in the government, did not know what is happening especially in the 90s, after Rajiv Gandhi's death. Nobody knew anything at the upper level of Congress. And Hindus continued group identities and small little communities of equal status. You see, they became more like not caste conscious, but they became class conscious. Who is making more money? We are aligned with that. And that mentality is in America as well. So, to the benefit of Congress party, Hindus were divided. Every group wanted to be backward. In fact, there is an English author, I've forgotten the name. He said that it's only in India that people are considering that being backward is a privilege. And it's so true. So divide and rule policy along region, along religious, along sociological lines, so much so that after this secularism was introduced officially in 1975, it became like, history became like anthropology. You see, subaltern tribes. In one of the books, Parvati is described as a tribal woman, and Gautam Buddha is not considered as Hindu. He belonged to a tribe. And the whole kind of distortion was introduced. And the line of argument was that the interpretation should not be, history should be seen sociological evolution and anthropological evolution. And so ultimately, by this time, to my knowledge, 8 states are Hindu minority states. And most of them are on the coast or on the borders with neighboring countries. And Hindus are living as dhimmis. They cannot have processions on Ram Navami, somebody will sabotage, or they will change the route that you cannot go. There's a masjid there, you have to, change the route. And the whole lot. In the schools, you cannot wear tilak, bindi. You cannot wear janeau. You cannot wear moli, rakhi. A whole lot of things. And if they are all government funded, secularism does not apply to Hindus only. It applies to everybody then. So there is absolutely no religion anywhere. If that is the criteria that we are secular, then why force only one community to live by your standards? So for Nehru, it was power at any cost. And for his dynasty now, power at all costs. Whether it is friendship with England or friendship with China, friendship with propaganda in France or Germany or anywhere, wherever there is a podium, one of them is there to address and talk about not just the government or the government head, the prime minister, talk about against the country, that there is no such country as India. It's a United States of India. Surprisingly, in India, there is no repercussions for this kind of treason or sedition or conspiracy. So both leaders, Nehru and Gandhi, ensured that Indian democracy works only for the minorities. Under the British, there was still common law. They did tinker with this uh, nonsense of a charitable fund. But other than that, they never interfered with the traditional law of the country, which means that Hindus could practice freely their traditional holidays and take out processions and everything, Vedic ceremony, marriage ceremony, other ceremonies. Now they are all under attack. So sacred versus the secular. Nothing is sacred for Hindus. Nothing is sacred. So secularism means pandering to minorities. Secularism is in danger. If you speak for Hindus, you are not a secular. So this mentality has become so deeply rooted in the Hindu psyche that we are accepting these kind of labels, saffron terror. When were the sadhus taking to weapons or doing conspiracies? Hindu radicals. If Hindus are radicals, then there is nobody who is tolerant. So a nation which does not, a dharma which does not allow killing an animal, sanctity of all life, they cannot be radical extremists. And if they allow 20 different paths and sampradayas, they cannot be considered extremists. Hindu fascists, Hindu racists. All of these, I have tons of papers published in my computer, papers written by academia with these kind of title. Hindutva, the global terrorist organization. Hindutva, Hindu radicals. And surprisingly, I was really in shock when one of the Hindu scholars, he said, I am a Hindu. I believe in Hindu traditions. I don't believe in Hindutva. And that was really coming from such a great person. This kind of description that I don't believe in Hindutva. What does that mean? Hindutva is the essence of Hindu Dharma in terms of psychology, science, philosophy, you name it, you see. In every way, it is a science. So how can Hindu-ness, which has the basis in science, be like Hindutva is a enemy of Hindus? So this was something. And I've started writing a paper on Hindutva, what it means. It's like saying that I am a human being, but I don't believe in humanity. And you are real, but you have no reality. You are a person, you have no personality. So at some point, one has to be realistic and use some common sense and have the courage to clearly send a message. And if you are aggressive, yes, you be aggressive. This is the world where aggression is in everything. Even the commercials which come for common small little things, they are so aggressive in marketing. And we have no tools yet developed how to counter the threats, how to recognize the threats, in fact, how to recognize the enemy. If you don't know your enemy, then even the divine creator will not be able to help. Human rights violation by Nehru, plenty of them, starting with after the death of Gandhi. For 3 days, newspapers were blocked, presses were closed, and in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and many other places, the Brahmins were killed. And the only news that I came across was not from in Indian newspapers or archives. It came from Washington Post. And the headline was that Gandhi dead, and it was like a big bold letters, Gandhi dead, 2,500 Brahmins under attack. And they gave a figure 1,500. Later on, we learned it was much higher. So it started, Brahman bashing started at that time, and then it continued all the way down to a larger and larger extent. So, and Indira Gandhi, she used gunfire against unarmed sadhus in 1966. They were going to parliament to make a petition and that cow slaughter should be banned, which was a constitutional demand. It was in the constitution. And many people died. And this kind of thing continued, every time. Either it is some sadhus or it is a Hindu ashram or just a group of Hindus, anybody's game, violence. In Ramlila Gram, this anti-corruption rally was there. Thousands of people were there. At 11 o'clock, they started beating. And Shinde was the home minister, and Kapil Sibal was probably the law minister. And this is even the foreign newspaper said that what was the reason for lathi charge on sleeping people in pajamas. So subversion of the constitution, amendments, legal maneuvering, and Hindu code bill was the most vicious bill. We were taught otherwise. This opened the arena of judicial attacks because Hindu code bill, anybody can take a petition to the court that the bill is there is atrocity against women or atrocities against this person, that, or the Vedic ceremony is oppressive, marriage ceremony, it is in favor of the man. Anything and everything is in the preview of the judicial attacks and interference in Hindu custom. Something is causing pollution of water, something is causing pollution of air and wastage, and why the milk is being poured over Shivling. It is waste of milk. So many people can be fed well. All of this. So violent attacks in many places now, every single day, there are violent attacks. Even in Calcutta, they go to the homes of the Brahmins and smash their vigrahas and beat the members. And then there is that love jihad business. You must have all known about it. Most people do. It is trapping a girl posing to be as a Hindu and then marrying her and then selling her as a slave. Love jihad is going on in England and against the Christian girls. It is going on everywhere. Even here, there was a case in Texas. So Christian schools and madrasas are the propaganda machinery for brainwashing, indoctrination. And this is erosion of culture through different channels. So it is not just one snake bite that you are expecting. It is like tinkering with the nest of wasps. So somewhere you will get being bitten. So you see, going through all this research was not a very pleasant job. It was like, you are peeling onions, and every time there is a foul smell causing your eyes to water. It was similar kind of experience writing this book. And partnership of the 5 M's, mullahs, missionaries, I explained in the last session, assortment and distribution of blame. Now, who are you going to blame? Somebody asked me in Punjab, in one of the colleges, they said that if this is the situation, because they didn't believe me, I said, don't use the word if. If I am saying it, it is. And then they said that many kids, who is to be blamed for this? Now, who is to be blamed for the original sinner is Gandhi, who kept the Muslims there. The next person is Nehru, who said that Christianity is one of the original religions of India. And St. Thomas was the person who started Christianity in India. And it goes to 2200 years or whatever. And there was no St. Thomas. The grave is made of wood. If anybody wants to go and do this, they can do the carbon testing. How old is the grave? Most likely it was made by the Portuguese because it is in that area. So media, Bollywood, every movie, and Indians are so proud that we have seen that, what was that movie? Padmavat, and then Jodhabai. You see, people are crazy. Instead of banning and boycotting those movies, you are showing that, yes, I have seen it. What kind of mentality is that? You're boasting that you have seen it. You should have boycotted. From 1990 onwards, I have boycotted Indian movies because I can't stand them. So now this is interesting. Even Musharraf made a sarcastic remark that Indian media was doing a better job and we don't have to do anything. Pakistan jihad is not necessary. Indians are doing themselves a better job. Foreign intervention. This is Clinton's bad deed. Somebody proposed United States Commission for International Religious Freedom. First of all, if anybody comes under this banner to scan India or be sanctimonious or put up some kind of a mechanism of surveillance to find where are human right violation in Orissa, here, there, everywhere. Who are you? How do you become the international contractor for religious freedom for the entire world? And why you should be allowed in the country? But they were allowed. There were visas given to them. Modi was the first person who refused visas to them. And they said, how can we write a report if we are not allowed to visit India? Because you don't write a report. Who are you to write a report? We have internal mechanism, judicial recourse to do this infringement in a very legal way, an open way. So who are you? So since for the last 9 years, visas are stopped for them. And that is another thing that bothers them. But then they have plenty of spies in India who are doing the job, including Hindus, who will write a paper for $500 against their own self. So Hindus divided along bogus categories created by Congress. Minorities are solidly united. If there is a call given from Iraq or some ISIS guy, it will travel within 2 hours to every madrasa and mosque in India that start your strike and sit-in strike and block the roads and the whole thing. It is that quick of a method. So minorities are expanding and they are solidly united against Hindus. Foreign nixes in every minority. And can we do some kind of inclusivity if possible? Because all the minorities, leaving the Christians and Muslims, they are Hindus. So can we include them instead of dividing them? That is where the Hindus have to get up and get out of the bed and wake up. So India's image in the West is horrible. Propaganda machinery is doing its job. Lines between reality and perception, they are blurred. Everything is perception. Geography is changed. If you see the Google Maps, India's geography looks like this. Arunachal Pradesh is given to China and Kashmir also. And then India looks like a narrow strip of land in the world map. Please check the Google Maps. And India, Hindus are an endangered nation. Gandhi Ghosh thrives in the body politic of free India. And this is called Ganga Jamuni culture. Where is the Ganga Jamuni culture? One person is being lynched and the other is oppressor. So how does that become a culture? They have now created a parallel national anthem, Maa Tujhe Salam. You see, what is that? Who is that mother? If it is not Mother India, to which Vande Mataram was sung, then who is this mother, Maa Tujhe Salam? Global Christian missions in Asia, that Society of Teresa and Pew Foundation and whole lot of people, World Vision from New Zealand, place like New Zealand. Their own population is 4 million people, and missionaries are coming from New Zealand to make, convert Hindus. I have never seen a bigger irony or joke than this one. So of all the tyrannies, a tyranny sincerely exercised for the good of the people is most oppressive. So damn it, Hindu psych. Diversity is a good thing, but Hindus face an existential threat. Windowless room and bottomless unexpressed rage. Those people like me, I express it, whether in words or otherwise, on the podium. But most of the Hindus are windowless room. No newspaper should come, they bother us. No information of killings or anything should come, it bothers us. So everybody is protecting, like being in a clamshell. And bottomless unexpressed rage. You are stewing your mind in unexpressed rage. What is that going to do? Muslims delight in unending series of barbaric killing. They enjoy, they clap. So, never mentioned in the press or the GOI establishment. The Hindu atrocities, no, it's a totally banned subject. The government at the center, the states, the opposite parties, all of them in collusion to kill the initiatives taken in 2014. And they are all in this together, including Western interventionists. Hindus, if they raise their voice, they're accused. You don't believe in Gandhi, scolded, you are intolerant, you are violent. Have you not heard Ahimsa Paramo Dharma? So Hindus are carrying the burden of permanent guilt complex. And this luggage, this is the luggage handed over by Gandhi and Nehru. There was no reason for Muslims to be here. There was no reason for Christian to be declared as minority and disadvantaged. They were not. British rule was there. How could Christian be disadvantaged? Muslim rule was there. How could they be disadvantaged? So this bogus idea of Hindu-Muslim unity, non-violence, you see, this baggage should be taken off, not only from the brain, from your back, and visibly so, openly, in the arena. And that requires guts. So unwilling to cross this psychological barrier. So those who do not want to learn from past experience, They have no future. So, and if nothing else, Hindus should read at least 10 times Bhagavad Gita. Because Shri Krishna did try to be, that there should be peace. And he did go as a messenger of peace. But then, when the war was there and Arjun refused to fight, he didn't say that go back home and enjoy. Why do you have to fight if you don't feel like fighting? So this Bhagavad Gita is absolutely in favor of doing your duty. And Raj Dharam is not a hinsa parmo dharma. Raj Dharam is protecting your boundaries and protecting the people from lawless elements. There is no other duty of the government except these two. Tinkering with the sociological compositions or population diversity or demography, these are not the functions of the government, primary function. Welfare of the entire nation, prosperity of the entire nation, taking care of the famine area, or providing waters, these are the schemes applying to all the nationals. Other than that, you have no business to tinker with anybody's tradition. And this is what we have to learn. Repression and boycott, no bounds to this day. You see, if I were in their place, or maybe if it works in Ajmer, where they boycott the Dargah, and there was an economic impact, Hindus should do that too. But then it has to be, barrier has to be crossed. In mathematical terms, and this is my father used to say, he said that there are always certain givens of the situation. Given of the situation at this time is that Nehru was wrong and Gandhi was wrong. And a whole lot of the stuff that was going on in 70 years, 65 years was absolutely unfair to Hindus and to the country, right? So in other words, do not fight the facts. It exists. Hindus are repressed. They are in a chokehold. There are atrocities, physical, mental abuse, and a little bit of incident here and there is a common thing. And what was the point of bringing the Muslims to Punjab? Punjab was divided on the basis of religion. So what are the Muslims, burqa-clad women doing in places like Jalandhar and Amritsar? You see, makes no sense. And they have reclaimed their mosque. Journey to find the details about the actual events begins with courage and perseverance. You see, and we can start it. Any day is good enough. Today is a good day. Yesterday would have been better. So Hindus understanding the need for change, then having the courage to bring about that change is a Hamiltonian question. It's from Shakespeare. To do or not to do, here is the question. I changed it. The actual line is to be or not to be, here is the question. So I changed to do or not. Balraj Manok wrote a book, Case for Hindu Rashtra. Everybody should read that. It's a small little book. Situation caused by identity crisis or sheer hopelessness, one should identify. Am I suffering from identity crisis? Because I say I'm a Hindu. What kind? Please tell me what kind of Hindu you are. Sheer helplessness of Hindus, because they are surrounded by so much violence, they cannot do anything. And this is a joke, actually. It's a proverb used. Chor te lathi do jane. The thief and his stick they are two persons. Imagine. Sare Hindu kalle. Chor horane mari lathi. Now, chor hora means chor plural. Even with one lathi, he becomes so many, plural. Chor horane mari lathi sare Hindu thalle. The actual is, actual proverb is different. Chor te lathi do jane, main te bapu kalle. It was that. Chor horane mari lathi, main te bapu thalle. So I put down sare Hindu kalle, sare Hindu thalle. So at this point, there's urgent need for Hindus to change their outlook and general ecosystem. Instead of feeling diffident and apologetic, I also feel sometimes very pessimistic. Hindus must retrieve their positive identity. Yes, I am proud. I am proud of Hindu. I believe in Bhagavad Gita. I believe in Raj Dharma. I believe in social dharma, Maryada. I believe in personal dharma, Sanyam. I am a Hindu. If 4 people can say this at the common crossing, that, hey, I'm a Hindu and I'm dressed as a Hindu. You see, does anybody has that kind of courage and confidence? That is what we need. So journey began in 1915. Now it is 22. 1951, Nehru said to K. Munshi, I don't like you trying to restore Somnath. It will be Hindu revivalism. There was that day and there was today, where Hinduism was revived in full glory at Kaleshwar by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So this is the beginning of a renaissance. Either Indian Hindus are with him or not with him. So my own small little poem is that manzili to bahut hain, raaste talashne. So can we do that? And that is where ideas, concrete ideas come. What I can personally do, what I can do at the community level, at the club level, at the social level, and how I can spread this, lighting diyas instead of being diffident. And that's about all. The next one is what am I doing? Yeah. Next one is Gandhi in his what happened? Okay, screen share is closed.
Yeah, you closed it, but you can just ask, do the question and answer if anybody has questions.
Okay. I can't see the if there are participants. What did I do?
There are a few, yeah.
Okay. All right then. If anybody has questions, suggestions, solutions, please go ahead. And if there are no questions, it is surprising.
Hello, Auntie. This is Naresh. Good, very illuminating, eye-opening talk today, as before. So I don't have a question, but a suggestion. My suggestion is that, you have written a wonderful book, and I really enjoyed reading and, giving you a suggestion when you were writing it. My question is, the next generation, including my own 3 kids, don't like to read books, right? Especially when they see a big book like that, they kind of back off, right? They don't even read their own textbooks sometimes. So this is a generation of, TikTok videos and short YouTube blurbs, things like that, right? Instagrams. So is there a way we people invest who have this next generation, who are to pass on this knowledge? Otherwise, they will feel totally disconnected from India and what happened before, as you said. no future. If people don't learn from past, then no future. Is it possible to, you know, or somebody to create the media in which the younger generation understands better, either in the short YouTubes or TikToks, or maybe take some blurbs out of your book or even your talk? The pieces can be edited, um, 5-minute kind of clips, then that can be posted instead of a full 1 hour. And people
Yeah,
can still watch full hour later on if they want.
I understand.
Yeah.
Let me tell you the history of short story. How did the short stories started being written? There was a king, he said, I want to know the history of the entire world. So everybody started, doing research. And 20 years passed. The book is not ready. He was getting old. He said, give me 3 chapters, history of the whole world. Another 10 years passed. Now he was on deathbed. He says, give me in 1 sentence, history of the world. And the answer was, people come, people die, people struggle. So that kind of answer will not be relevant here. So there is always an introduction, there is always a build-up, and then there is a conclusion. And in 5 minutes, you cannot introduce a subject. So first of all, people have to wean out of this habit of just looking at 5 minutes. Anything which is longer than 5 minutes, it is mind-boggling, because commercials have reduced our attention span to less than 30 seconds. In many cases, a little over that. So I don't think technological advance can be reversed, because everybody is with the mobile phone. The way I think is that there is always a class of readers, and they can be frightened by big books. I myself was frightened when I saw that it is going to be 750 pages. My question was, who will read it? Now there is a way of reading. There are so many good books, long books, short also. The way of reading is read the preface, read the conclusion, and you see where the person is going and where the person is. Then every chapter, read the beginning page, and then find the link. You see, glance through the events and see. So in case of this particular book, chapter you read, first page, then go to the end, see what has this to do with Gandhi? What has this to do with Gandhi? So that is all you need to know. The rest of the things are events as aftermath of those wrong policies, blunders, and bad decisions. So this is, but then there is nothing like 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I'm sorry. Some certain things, as I said, मंजिलें बहुत हैं, रास्ते तलाशने. तो तलाशने में, it can take 20 years. It took me 20 years. So there are no ready-made solutions that, protein powder, you shake it and you're done for the day. No. Diligence, perseverance, but you are not even there. The nation is at the point where they have an identity crisis. They do not know who they are. Offhand, you can ask any adult, are you a Hindu by convictions or practices? They don't know the difference between the two. You see, that is one problem. So you don't know your own identity. The first thing is you know yourself, who you are. I am a Hindu. What do I believe in? I believe in one divine creator. Where do I live? I am surrounded by environment. What do? I align with all of them. And that is the gist of it, right? Now you elaborate it. So this kind of scenario has to be created. First of all, Hindus should know and read their own books. Where does a scripture or a oral tradition, Shruti says, ahimsa paramo dharma? It does not say. It says dharmo rakshita, rakshiti rakshita. Those who protect dharma, dharma protects them. So I have no shortcut. If I had really gotten there, I would have shared that first of all.
I think the suggestion to read the first page and last page of chapter is a good start. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I would suggest that you there is one next lesson, which is Gandhi in his own words. And if you read just that chapter, you will see, you know, what Gandhi was saying and what we are believing about him. You see, I would rather believe in what he said at such and such time, such and such time, than believe what Nehru said about Gandhi or anybody else said about Gandhi. You see, Gandhian truth. There was no Gandhian truth, Gandhi's truth. That is the whole bogus book. Gandhi was the only person who never, you know, by mistake spoke the truth. He was fudging it. He was justifying the opposite side. And then somehow or other, he would create another stint and divert the attention. So that is a must. And if you think that the British have looted the country, it doesn't come even close to what the Congress has looted and everybody else in the government has looted. In fact, I don't know how many people are familiar with Urdu. There is a poem, long poem, and the last sentence is, नशे मन ही के लुट जाने का गम होता तो क्या गम था. यहाँ तो लूटने वालों ने गुलशन लूट डाला. What does that mean? That if they had only destroyed one nest of a bird, I would not have been this grief-stricken. I am grief-stricken because the robbers have cleaned the whole garden. They have looted the whole garden. So at this point, whatever Narendra Modi is doing is absolutely fantastic. At least we are above the ground now, not in the ditch. And the least bit is that don't oppose him. Let him do what he's doing for the good of the country. And at personal level, read your own books. Read it 10 times and know yourself. And find your quest. If you're looking for activism, then be involved. If you're looking for at academic level discussions, start doing that. But involve the younger children. That is your next generation. Somehow or other, you know, we belong to bygone era. So therefore, it is almost what we wish for is irrelevant for us, but it is not for the next generation. So anything that you want to add? Oh.
No, this is good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Anybody else?
Do not want to discuss this in public broadcast?
No, ignore that.
Acha, ignore that. Chalo, ignored. Okay, anything else that anybody wants to say? Get up. That is the best thing one can do. And open the books, read between the lines, and go to the original sources. not Hindu traditions by such and such person or such and such scholar. Why not read Bhagavad Gita itself? And why not read a couple of Upanishads? They're not so difficult for people who are so well educated and they have scientific mind. They are mathematical people. For them, there's no reason to pick up one Upanishad and see at the level of philosophy where we are going, beyond Ramayana and beyond Mahabharata, even though they are relevant extremely. But then beyond the parampara, there is a whole philosophy. And if we know that, then we are rooted, grounded. Okay. I think.
Okay, thank you all. Next, in 2 weeks.
Yeah, in 2 weeks. And that will be the last Gandhi in his own way. We'll just brush through that, go through that.